welcome back to my channel. So today's video is quite personal and quite serious, and it's about my story of living with anxiety. So I thought, where can I sit and act serious? So I'm sitting at a desk trying to be serious. I have written a list of the main points that I need to talk about. I started to notice that I suffered with anxiety at around 4th year in secondary school. I couldn't walk into school without my friends. I couldn't ask a question in class. I was failing in maths due to because I struggled so much with it, but I wouldn't. Something as simple as raising my hand, I couldn't do. I didn't attend sleepovers. I didn't attend parties. If any of my friends wanted to have a sleepover, they'd need to stay in my house because that was my little secure place and my little, I knew I was safe there. I was having really bad OCD experiences. So for example, before I'd leave my room, I would need to check that all my plugs were plugged out, my switches were switched off, my windows were locked, the drawers in my wardrobe were pushed in, my wardrobe doors were closed properly, and this would take, I'd say, about 15 minutes at a time to do. And it wasn't even that I just had to look at the plugs to make sure that they were plugged out. I had to physically go up and touch them and go, okay, 1 2 3 3 2 1. That's what I used to have to do to every single plug socket in my room. I would have thoughts that if I didn't check the back door that someone was gonna break in and really hurt my family. Just absolutely draining thoughts. When I was in the shower, I used to have to count to 11 seconds that I'm washing my hair. It was just all about fixating on these certain things that would make me feel safe and make me be able to go about my daily life. Then in about 4th year, I remember I couldn't order my own food. Say if me and my friends went for lunch or something, I'd have to ask one of them to order. I couldn't get on the bus and pay for my own bus fare. I'd need someone else to do it. I couldn't do anything for myself. If me and my mum were out and we ran into, say, one of her friends, I'd be like this the whole time. If I seen someone that I knew of walking on the same path as me, I'd cross over and I'd be gone. If I was in a shop and I seen someone that I knew, it was to head straight this way. Okay? Because I feared what people would think of me and what people were thinking of me, and I panicked about if I ran into someone, what would I talk about? What would I say? What would they think of me? What are they thinking about what I'm wearing? What are they thinking about how I'm speaking? And it was just horrible. It really, really was. And I kept thinking to myself, something isn't right. The ordinary person can't feel like this. In 4th year, I also lost my 12-year-old cousin to suicide. 12 years old. And I remember sitting there and thinking, Jesus, she must have been suffering so much and afraid to speak up. Maybe it's my time that I need to share how I'm feeling. Went to the doctor. She referred me to a counsellor, which was Aspen Counselling in Lucan Village. And my God, if you are watching this and you're from Lucan or around Lucan and you're looking for a counsellor or a counselling place to attend, I would highly recommend Aspen. Obviously at the start I was a bit oh my God, I don't like this. I'm just literally just sitting here telling this woman how I'm feeling. But I built the best relationship with her, and it was the best decision that I ever made to go to counselling. I had counselling on and off for 5 to 6 years. Things took a really bad turn after my first breakup in 2016. The middle of 2016, I was just so low, extremely low. I was just I didn't have anyone. I didn't have a really good supportive group of friends who took me out to distract me. My mom had to ring people to ask them to come over to me. I know it's so sad, but obviously my friends at the time had their own lives as well. But my best friend Victoria lives in Balbriggan, and I couldn't even get to see her or and obviously I was only what was I was 18. I don't know what age I was, but I was still quite young and I was still quite immature, and I didn't know how to deal with a breakup, and I just felt quite alone going through it. So I went back to counselling, to the same counsellor, worked through that, but I felt like I could never let go. Personally, that's something that I struggle with. I can't let go of things, and I'm not like just the normal person that'd be like, okay, you done me wrong, out of my life. Now I am, back then I wasn't. And I think I feared people leaving me a lot. I don't know why, I just did. Anyways, moving on. Got through that obstacle in life, done really, really well. Then in about, I think it was 2017, the end of 2017, I just felt completely horrible on myself. I was waking up with a horrible feeling in my stomach, like dreading the days ahead of me. Not out of like depressive episodes, I don't have depression. It was just like feeling like, here we go again, another day. Like, and I'd say that was the worst time that I felt like that. So I went back down to my GP, keeping in mind this time I stopped attending my the counsellor. Went down to the GP. She obviously done a few questions with me and stuff, and decided that I needed to be put on antidepressants. This was something that I was so like, I was like no, I was like, I'm not crazy, I don't need tablets to fix me, like I don't need tablets for me to cope with life and stuff. And she was like, okay. She's like, well, here you go, there's your attitude, it's completely wrong. And I was like, I don't need tablets, like I don't agree with that. And I remember she said to me, she goes, anxiety and depression are like chemical imbalances in the brain. So she said, if you had a really bad headache, or your friend had a really bad headache, would you give them a tablet? And I said, yeah, of course. And she goes, so why can't you take this tablet to see if this helps, if this boosts your moods, if it evens out the mood swings, if it makes you feel waking up in the morning without that sickness feeling in your stomach, and you can go about your day without feeling like, oh, what are they thinking of me, blah blah. So I started on them. I noticed the first 2 to 3 weeks on them, I was completely wired. I couldn't sleep. I was hyper all the time. And then as I got settled and used to them, I noticed such a big change. I noticed my mood was up. My mood swings were... I wasn't like a fucking... yeah, and it was just fantastic. However, she did recommend that I should go back to counselling or try some other sort of therapy. At the time, because of how low I was feeling, she decided to send a letter to the Ballyfermot Mental Health Centre. I don't know if that's what it's called, but anyway, it's in Cherry Orchard. So I attended there to a psychiatrist. Never again, ever. I think I went about 3 times, and I was like, not for me. Okay, people, you have so many options these days of like to even like online counselling. The psychiatrist, okay, it was like this, sitting in a room at a table in like a chair that you'd sit in school, and she was like, and why are you feeling like this? And instead, so I went from counselling, where I was so used to having such a good relationship with my counsellor and being so open, to feeling like I was sitting in this room and being just completely examined by someone and getting notes taken on me, and like, nah. And she just kept saying to me, oh, we'll up your dosage of your meds. Oh, we'll up your dosage of your meds. Oh, we'll up it. Oh, so they brought me up to 100 milligrams. Yeah, I started off, I think, at 25 milligrams. And this psychiatrist just thought the only way to do this is by upping the dosage. So I hated that. I just stopped showing, because I was like, I am not going there ever again. It was just absolutely horrific. Anyway, after that, things started to look up a bit more. I was doing well with my anxiety. And then obviously the battles with my health. So I was diagnosed then with my Chiari malformation, and and hydrocephalus. So that really took a toll on my mental health, because I just felt like it was one thing after another. And then again, I went through, well, I didn't go through another breakup. Basically, I completely finished with a person who was just completely toxic in my life and brought nothing but making me feel like this small. And we're not going to speak about that, excuse me, but yeah, there was a lot of things together at the time that I was kind of just like, ah. So went back to my GP, and she said, why don't you try CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. I never heard of it before this. It's all about retraining your brain to think. So when a negative thought comes in, you basically train your brain to notice that negative thought and say, stop, no, like, why am I thinking like this? Pushing that negative thought out of your brain and changing it into a positive thought. So I was like, okay, I'll give this a go. So I started CBT. It was with Aspire Counselling, and it was brilliant. Like, it was completely different to counselling, because in counselling you're sitting there just listening your problems and listening how you're feeling and telling your bad days. Whereas in CBT, you're talking about a bad situation, you're analysing the bad situation or how you're feeling during a panic attack, and then you're learning brilliant mechanisms or techniques to cope with this. So I highly recommend CBT. I know it is quite new as well. But again, if you're watching this and you've suffered with anxiety or any sort of mental illness, and you've tried counselling and psychiatrists, try CBT. I promise you, it made me look at life in a whole new different way. And like, it made me think, okay, I just think a little bit different to the ordinary person. So then I attended CBT from about November 2018 until, I had my surgery in March, until about February 2019. But it was only, I think it was every week. Yeah, every week. And then I had to stop going because I needed my brain surgery and blah blah. And that is all. So from fourth year, which I was 15, all the way up till 21, I attended support constantly, well, on and off. And it's the best decision I ever made, because when I look back at that little girl who's 15 and won't even put up her hand to ask for help, like, it actually breaks my heart. I am beyond proud of myself for where I am today, of who I am today. I've experienced things. I've experienced brain surgery. I've experienced being told if I don't get the surgery that I did, I would have been dead within 6 months. I've experienced so many battles with my health. I've experienced battles with my mental health. I've experienced toxic relationships. I've experienced absolutely amazing relationships, letting go of toxic friends and gaining amazing friends. And the anxiety is what made me me. Like, I used to lie down at night and be like, oh, I wish I wasn't like this. No, not anymore. Like, just because you have someone that makes you that little bit different to someone else doesn't mean, like, that you are different. Because if you're the same as everyone else, it'd be boring, you know? So the last thing I have written down is advice. To anyone who is watching this with anxiety, depression, bipolar, OCD, anything along the lines, go get help. You are not weak for getting help. You are so strong. Put up your hand, go get help. Admit there's something wrong. It might even just be you overanalyze things so much, or like you have a tiny bit of OCD. Like, there isn't such a big stigma now around anxiety and mental health like what there was when I was in fourth year, when I was embarrassed to tell people that I was going counsel, and I was embarrassed to tell people that I was diagnosed with anxiety. Also, just to mention, I was actually diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, as well as social anxiety. So my main kind of thing was social anxiety. I no longer have social anxiety. I do battle with anxiety every now and again. I overthink absolutely everything, but that's me. I have 3 little books here, so that have helped me. So the Mind, Body, Soul Journal by Andrea Hayes. Bible for anyone who needs to get down their thoughts. So every month there's new things, okay, and then they give you like positive quotes and stuff, and she tells you how to use the journal. It's not something you need to do every day, but if you're feeling you can pick it up, right, and it helps. So just say, for example, in week 3 it was all about unconditional self-love, okay, and she talks about how when she was beginning her journey, she took a large piece of paper and talked about why she loves herself, okay. I never had confidence. Obviously I love myself, but I never had the confidence that I have today, and it was something that I really struggled with. So for week 3 it was, you look in the mirror, and this is what I said. I see a young girl who's been through an absolute lot. Someone who's trying to figure out her reason for being on this earth and her purpose. Someone who needs to work on their health and lose a few pounds, but someone who is beyond grateful and happy. Okay, so I got this book probably in January, and looking back now, I've started exercising. I've started looking after my health, and yeah, I'm even more grateful and happy. So I would highly recommend Andrea Hayes' Mind, Body and Soul Journal. Next one is the Mindfulness Journal. It is by S.J. Scott and Barry Davenport. It's quite big. Again, same type of thing, except they have, so week 2 is all about body awareness. Week 1 is about daily gratitude. So basically, I reflect on the people in my life who have made me feel loved and supported. I feel grateful for. Okay? All about getting what's in there onto there. And last but not least is something so simple. Keane got it for me on Valentine's Day, and I think he got it in Tiger. So it's a notebook, and it says, thoughts I need to write down before I fall asleep. So it says your thought, the date, the time at night. You write down your thoughts, and then you tick if your thought is brilliant, life-changing, must be shared, if it worries you, or if you want to keep it to yourself. And the last thing I would say is, if you are someone who is in a relationship with someone with anxiety, or if you have even a friend or a brother or a sister who suffers with anxiety, the main thing I can say to you is support, 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 okay? We understand completely that at times it can be a bit frustrating and annoying to maybe need that little bit of reassurance, that little bit more reassurance, or that little bit more of TLC than what maybe your ex or your other friend would need. But you have to understand that that's how our brain works, and although it might be really frustrating and annoying for you dealing with someone who has anxiety, put yourself in their shoes and imagine not being able to go to sleep at night because you're so worried over your leave card, or not being able to go to sleep at night because your friend said that, oh god, I don't even know, your friend texted you something but you read it the wrong way and you're convinced that she's annoyed at you, or your boyfriend said he didn't like the way you done something, and then you just overthink absolutely everything and it's draining. So, but to everyone, and I mean everyone, from everyone who follows me on Instagram, to all my friends, to Keane, to my mum, my dad, Lara, my nana, everyone, I wouldn't have gotten through the last few years without you guys. My other advice is to let go of people who bring toxic energy to your life. If you're in a relationship with someone for 4 to 5 years and you're afraid to let go, don't be. If you're friends with someone who's you're friends with since the first day of primary school, but you feel like you're gaining nothing from the friendship, let them go. You live life once and this is your life. So why would you keep people in your life who bring nothing but negativity or make your anxiety even worse? Okay, you're worth more than that. And my last thing is to just accept yourself for who you are, and you may be a little bit different in how you think or how you act or your actions that you need to perform out. Oh, by the way, I no longer do those OCD type of actions because I pushed myself to stop it. I was like, hold on now. I was like, just because I don't check a plug does that mean my family are going to get robbed? So yeah, that's my story about anxiety. And the last thing I want to say is, I made this video. It took a lot of confidence to talk about this and to get everything out that has happened to you over the last few years. If you think that your friend should see this video just to be like, oh my god, what the hell, she was a weirdo, don't bother. If you're not interested in what I'm saying, or if you think that I don't know, if you just don't even like it, unfollow me, block me if you need to. Like, this is something that I've always wanted to do, and I've done it, and I'm so proud of myself. And the last thing I'm going to say is, anyone who needs someone to talk to, text me on Instagram. I will reply. I will be that friend. I will be there for you. I will listen. I have been through everything that you can think of, and I've come out the other side, and I am so happy. So yeah, that's my story about anxiety.